Hey everybody! Today we are learning about the game Widgets and Digits, a brand new game on Board Game Arena. Widgets and Digits is created by the Friendly Bee Game Company, designed by Joseph Bugby, with art by Alex Chang. In this game, you are going to be creating your very own widget company. You get to come up with your own brilliant widget idea, and then you're going to spend the rest of the fiscal year trying to make as much money as possible so that you can come out on top. Now, before we get started, one important thing you need to understand is that this game has two different game modes. The first mode is called Classic Mode. Classic Mode is a simplified version of the game that just focuses on the game's core elements. If it's your first time playing the game, I recommend that you start with Classic Mode. The second game mode is called the Executive Experience. The Executive Experience adds in two expansions, Worker Wars, which adds a competitive labor market, and Boardroom Battle, which adds in powerful game controlling abilities. Now, this personally is my favorite way to play the game. However, I recommend that you build up some understanding of the game through Classic Mode before trying to do the full shebang. So today we're going to be focusing on learning the rules for Classic Mode, and without further ado, let's get started. So as every business owner knows, the most important step in starting your own business empire is having a brilliant idea. So to begin every game of widgets and digits, you're going to create your own widget. You need to name it, tell us what it does, and then come up with a catchy slogan. In 3 and 4 player games, you will vote on who has the best widget idea after everyone comes up with their widget. Now there are some stakes, so you do want to take it seriously. In the event of a tie, the widget ranking will determine the winner. And also, the person with the best widget gets to go first in the first quarter. After we create our widget ideas, the game begins. Widgets and Digits is played over the 4 quarters of the fiscal year. In each quarter, you will take one turn. That means you're basically going to have 4 turns before the game ends, so the game moves very quickly. During your turn, there are 3 stages. The first stage is investing. During the investing stage, you will buy cards and resources from the respective markets. After the investing stage, we have the production stage. During the production stage, you will run this 4-step widget making process from beginning to end. This is how you make all your money. The final stage is the upkeep stage. This is where you pay wages to your workers. At the end of the game, the player with the highest net worth is the winner. Your net worth is the sum of your current cash plus the resale value of any cards you might have purchased, the resale value being this red number on each of the cards. All right, to begin, I'm going to explain the second stage, which is production. During the production stage, this is where you produce all your widgets and make all your money. It's helpful to think that your goal in this game is to optimize production by purchasing cards and resources so that you make as much money as possible. So let's understand how the production stage works. Production goes in 4 stages. In sourcing, you get raw materials for free. Raw materials are these rocks. You get the number of raw materials equal to the number of symbols on the card. So at baseline, you get 1 raw material for free. During fabrication, you take raw materials and turn them into parts. At baseline, you will take 1 raw material and turn it into 1 part. During assembly, you take parts and turn them into finished goods. At baseline, you take 1 part and turn it into 1 finished good. And finally, in the retail stage, you take finished goods, brand them as your own personalized widget, and sell them for $20 a piece. At baseline, you take 1 finished good and sell it for $20. Now, if you notice, without having to do anything at all, you're getting a raw material for free. It's going to go all the way through your production line and get sold for $20. That means, without you having to do anything, you will always make about $20 per turn. After production, you run upkeep. Upkeep is simply $1 for every worker you have. The worker is shown by this arm and hammer symbol that you see on the bottom of each card. So at baseline, your total workers is 4, and you will spend $4 in upkeep. If you look above the production line, you see this expected profit line where it automatically calculates how much money you're expected to make before you run production. So as you can see, without doing anything, I'm expecting to make $20. Not selling anything else, I pay $4 to my workers for a total of $16. So now that we know how production and upkeep work, Those stages are going to run automatically as soon as we hit end turn and run production. So our goal during the investing phase is to optimize those so they make as much money as possible. So let's see how we might do that. The first stage to optimizing your process is to upgrade stages with cards. There's always going to be 3 cards for sale at the start of your turn. If you click this magnifying glass, the card will zoom in so you can see it a little better. In the upper left-hand corner of the card, you see the cost. So this card costs $16. On the right, you see the resale value. So if you ever sell this card, I'd get $8 back. Remember, this $8 also counts to your net worth at the end of the game. At the bottom left of the card, we see how it upgrades production. So in this case, this is a green card, which means it upgrades the 4th stage, the retail stage, and it changes it from baseline, being able to turn 1 finished good into $20, to being able to turn 4 finished goods into $20 a piece. At the far right, we see how it changes my labor cost. So this would increase my labor from 1 worker to 4, which means during that upkeep stage, I would be paying more in upkeep over the course of the game. One important thing to call out is that you're going to produce and make widgets before you pay your workers, so you never need to worry about not being able to pay your workers. You're always going to make money first, so that's not going to be an issue. That's mostly something you need to pay attention to in terms of keeping your costs efficient over the course of the game. All right, so if I want to buy a card, I just go ahead and click on it. When I buy the card, it's going to slot into a stage and replace the baseline stage, replacing the baseline capacity and worker cost. So for example, let's say I buy this QC cat. So now it has replaced the purple stage, and now it has increased my capacity from 1 part to 2. Now, an important concept of this game is capacity. So I've increased the amount of parts I can turn into finished goods, but currently I'm still only getting 1 part from my baseline production. So I've increased my capacity, and yet I'm not making any more money. If we look at the expected profit line, I'm actually making less because I'm selling the same $20 of widgets, but my labor cost has gone up. If you look at these production tracker buttons, they tell you if your production line is running at full capacity. As you can see, I have an orange button in assembly. That's because I don't have enough parts going in to take advantage of this QC cat's upgraded capacity. So where can I get more parts? That's the second part of this game, which is these resource markets. So not only can you buy cards to increase the capacity of your stages, you can also buy resources to produce extra, more expensive goods. So I have capacity for 1 additional part, so let's see how much parts cost. Every market shows the cost of goods on the line at which they're on. So here I can buy parts for $8. I'll go ahead and buy a part. As soon as I buy a part, it goes onto its appropriate stage, and so now I can see that I've bought a part. I'm going to produce a part through my baseline production, and so my QC cat is now at full capacity. As you can see, I have 2 resources going in, and I will be able to produce 2 finished goods. Now I want to point something else out. Look at our expected profit calculation. Retail, I'm still only making $20. That's because retail only has capacity for 1 finished good. So that 1 finished good is going to get sold at retail for 20 bucks. However, I will have an extra finished good left over when I run production. What you see here is that finished goods sell for $14. So as soon as I run production, those extra resources are going to get automatically sold to the next market. And here you can see I made a profit. I bought a part for $8. It's getting upgraded by my QC cat into a finished good, where it will sell at the next market for $14, making a nice $6 profit. And so my total expected profit for this round is $28, 20 bucks of widgets, $14 of extra resources that I'm selling, minus my $6 in labor cost. I'm looking pretty profitable. Let's go ahead and run production and see how it looks. So Mr. Widget has finished his first quarter. Now you can see he's made a lot more money. Another important thing to notice is that your card does not go away, so this is a permanent upgrade to production. So as you can see, if I continuously upgrade the rest of my line, I will eventually get to a point where my baseline is higher than where I started, and that's where you start to make some real money. One important thing to notice is that resource I bought is now gone. So next turn, if I don't upgrade my assembly stage, I will need to buy more resources. Another thing to notice is that the economics in this game shift. So as you buy resources, you'll see it's starting to get more expensive to buy parts. And as you sell resources, you'll notice they make less and less profit. So this is something you'll need to adapt to as the game goes on, selectively choosing which stages you want to optimize and buy for based on where you see opportunities to generate the most profit. The last thing to be aware of is that there is this refresh ability. So you always have 3 cards available, but you can refresh, which allows you to draw new cards. There is a bit of a push your luck element to this game, which is if you're looking for a particular stage to upgrade or you're trying to get a particular capacity that you're looking for, you might need to refresh a few times. And it's kind of up to you whether you feel that the options that are currently available are good enough or whether you might want to risk it for potentially a better upgrade. That's pretty much it for classic mode. It's going to take place over the next 4 quarters of the game. You'll see the refresh cost increases in each quarter. And again, at the end of the game, whoever has the highest net worth wins. At the end of the game, the winners are displayed on the wall of widget winners. As you can see, Mr. Widget's amazing widget is a market disruptor earning over $120, whereas the less cool widget is unfortunately just a bar discussion. But hey, we all had to start somewhere. Enjoy. I hope you guys have fun playing Widgets and Digits. If you are able to break that $130 cap and achieve the legendary turtlenecks and magazine covers, then you are ready to experience the challenge of the next level of this game, which is the executive experience. So good luck and give it a try. Stay tuned for more videos where I'll explain the rules of the executive experience, and feel free to post in the comments or the forums if you have any questions. Without further ado, have fun playing Widgets and Digits.